Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Hey, good this morning, guys. And, it's hard to believe when I look back at going to training camp that here we are headed into our week of our first playoff game. And time has gone by. It seems like years, but on the other hand, seems like yesterday. But excited about this week, excited about next Monday.
How's your feeling this morning compared to late Sunday night after visiting our nation's capital?
Well, I first of all was taken back and surprised that we didn't play better because we, of course, to just go right to the face of it, we had our best out there, and we were playing for potentially quite a prize there. Philadelphia had dropped the ball. And so all of that doesn't make sense. But let me just say this. When you technically have some things go wrong, none of the incentive things make sense. What was going wrong was someone was, or somebody's, bodies plural, were getting beat, and they were doing a really good job. Washington has a very good third down defense. They do. How about leading the league? And they're pretty tough in there on an offensive line to basically manage Washington, I'm talking about. And so anything that you didn't do right is up a pretty good test there. I'm not making excuses, but what I am getting to is I have real confidence, all the confidence in the world, that Mike and our offensive line coaches and our offensive personnel, our coordinator, have all the faith in the world that we can make the kind of adjustments we need to make this week. I feel good about Baidez getting back in there. That should help us out. So in that offensive line. So that's where I'm starting with the offensive line, but I can see us playing better. Got to play better at Tampa, but I have a lot of confidence in our coaches to get that straightened out.
Jerry, do you think there was a chance that was like a look-ahead game? McCarthy said it wasn't the best week of practice. You needed, not a miracle, but something crazy to happen with Philly and the Giants. Do you think there's a chance that maybe your guys just didn't take it that seriously looking ahead to Tampa?
Well, I don't have, first of all, he told me the same thing before the game, that we didn't have our best week of practice. Now, we didn't sit down there and explain and get into, well, why didn't we? How could we not? We might win the whole division and might end up with the first seed if we play well here. I didn't get into that. And nobody won't have a better week of practice than Mike or the players involved themselves. Again, I'm going back to this thing does go back to technical aspects of it, the preparation, the judging of how to attack another team or how to block another team. And it goes back to that. And when you don't do it right or they do it better than you, then you can have a result like happen, obviously. But I've got confidence. Here's my point. I've got a lot of confidence that all of that is in the hopper. All of that is in Mike's mind, the coach's mind, Coach Philbin's mind, our offensive line coach, who's outstanding. And I think we'll be readier to go than it looked like we were last Monday.
Jerry Jones right here on 105.3 The Fan. We were discussing this with Brad Shan. Just wanted to suggest it or ask about this theory that did you guys go a little bit more vanilla? You wanted to work on some things, experiment with some things against the Commanders versus showing Tampa too much or unveiling something before the playoffs. Is that possible?
Well, I have a problem with that because this game was for all the marbles Monday. We basically Sunday. But we basically, if we win and Philadelphia loses, it's a huge difference. And so we should be ready to go. The real question is, in your portfolio, do you have the ability to normally, if you won the game, go out there in the playoffs and show some other stuff? Because you should know, and we do, that they're going to take everything you've done all year long, and they're going to be ready for that. And so you need to have some stuff in your back pocket that can change it up against a Tampa, who we played in the first game, and Tampa came out the winner. We should have unused things in our quill to use against any opponent in the playoffs. That's part of the game.
Jerry, do you believe in momentum heading into the playoffs?
Oh, I just believe in momentum generally. I do. But I believe in a positive attitude, obviously. And I think you have to work real hard when you get anything that sets you back. But I will tell you this, momentum, mental, that's important. But make no mistake about it, you're dealing with a physical game in football. And so you can have a positive attitude, and if somebody gets position on you and you don't win, all the positiveness in the world won't help you get out of trouble there. And so that's the thing of the game. Is it certainly is about mental. It's about being positive, but it's also about being mentally smart and using these things to create a physical edge. Now, I'm getting into philosophy here, but I can't tell you how much that we just need to simply go out there and physically win this coming Monday. Physically.
Are you surprised y'all are favored in this game?
Well, that we're at their home. Brady is a factor, but when you really think about it, we're not playing Brady. Brady is, you say, well, in this game, quarterback, the fact that he's quarterback teams that you haven't beaten with him quarterbacking. But, boy, we're playing the entire time. We're playing Tampa Bay, the team. And it's inconceivable that we could make Brady not play well and get our tails beat by the rest of the team. And I'm not trying to be cute, but we've got to go play the entire team. And this Brady thing has got to be sensitive. I know it's there, and I respect that. Gives us a challenge to do something we haven't done before, and that's beat Tom Brady.
Jerry, how do you feel, if you have an opinion on it one way or the other, about the game being played on Monday night?
I like it, and I think it gives us another day to get ready for them. And I like it. With our Thanksgiving Day experience, I've never seen short weeks, long weeks be a disadvantage for us. I understand time to recoup, understand as well as anybody, but still, it doesn't bother me. It shouldn't be a thought for us going down there and play. First of all, we're on the long end. We're on the advantage end of it. I kind of like so that we can have a better chance, if that's the fact, of winning a playoff game. I'd like to have my long week on the first one, because you may never give a chance if you had a short week to use your long week if you got beat.
Jerry Jones joins us here at 105 through the Fan. So you don't think if you win, it puts you at a disadvantage the following week going to Philadelphia to play a team that's coming off a bye?
Well, the same thing would put us at an advantage to win Monday. And so I'd rather have the advantage on the first game, since you don't get to play a second game if you don't win the first one.
Jerry, we've always, I think, talked about Dak as a guy who, really protects the ball. That's kind of been one of the hallmarks, I think, of him throughout his career. He had another interception on Sunday. That's 7 games in a row with an interception. Has anything changed, do you think, in his approach, the chances that he takes, the risks that he takes? Is that some of what's to explain away for the high increase in turnovers?
No, I can be emphatic about that. I don't think so. It's in Dak's DNA not to turn the ball over. His famous story that I often repeat is that he said more often than not, when his mother saw him in the kitchen, she'd say, "Remember, no turnovers." And so he's grown up thinking like that, and so I have all the confidence in the world that he, as a player, has all the right balance of confidence, or all the right balance of aggressiveness as it pertains to a turnover. He understands turnover better than all of us put together.
And Jerry, it sounded yesterday like Mike McCarthy was really optimistic about Leighton Vander Esch, Jonathan Hankins, Tyler Biotish, and Deron Bland being available in this game. Do you share that, and overall your sense of how healthy you are heading into this playoff game?
Absolutely. I can't tell you. Yes, completely. But I can't tell you how much confidence I've got in Mike and our coaching staff of being on top of where we are with this team right now. They've got every nuance. They understand every frailty that we might have, or we might have shown Sunday night. They've got every thing in their grasp and in their understanding, and I have complete confidence in this coaching staff. It's outstanding. We've got a great chance to go down there and have success.
And you guys added Xavier Rhodes to the practice squad at the end of last week, a former Pro Bowl cornerback, obviously, a long-term veteran. Is the plan to get him up, ready, and part of the game plan, part of the defense for this playoff game?
It wouldn't surprise me at all for him to be available. Not available. He is available, but it wouldn't surprise me that absent something happening this week if he were in our active group. But we'll see how this week goes on that. I can't be definitive there.
Jerry, how is your confidence in this team as a contender compared to even a month or two ago? Has it changed? Has it wavered? How are you feeling heading into this thing as a contender compared to at different other points and times in this season?
I don't believe we're going to go into the playoffs overconfident. I think we're sober. And we certainly can remember last year, but we can remember last week. And so if that is a good thing, if understanding that a bad game gets no bogey this coming week, if understanding that, then we're going to be in good shape. That was sobering this weekend.
Jerry, could I make an argument that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let me make it. Could I make an argument that the storylines and the negativity from that Washington game could actually be the best thing for you guys? Certain people need adversity and all the insults and everyone disqualifying you and discounting you and saying you're going to lose to Tom Brady again. Could I argue that the Commander game could maybe work out for you as a positive?
I think so. I know that success, or the prospects of being smart and got all the answers, and success is every bit the undermining flaw that failure is. And to have had some and think that's what you are is also a fraud. Both are equal frauds.
I'm going to put that on a T-shirt and sell it with your permission. Thank you. Last year, you were fired up after that 49er playoff game. Is there something that you want to impart or repeat, or a lesson to take from that game last year that you'll tell the guys, or that you want to see implemented for Monday and this playoff run?
Life could be more fun in the ensuing year if we win the playoff game.
That works.
We've had a dose of it without winning. Life went on. Life did go on. But when you win those, life has a little better zest to it, a little better ring. The music sounds better.
Yes, it does. Jerry Jones here on The Fan. Besides Dak's injury, what do you remember about the first game against Tampa this year, and how do you just look at you two matching up with each other?
Well, I remember us not playing very well, and vividly. We didn't lose that game because of Dak's injury. That happened at the very end of the game. But we had Dak, and we were coming out of training camp, and so we need to take that point right there and say we've got to get a lot better against Tampa than we were opening game and coming out of training camp. And so we've got a template right there that, of course, we won't be dealing with the same team, if you will, with that we did opening game. But you're not going to have anybody with the Dallas Cowboys going to Tampa with rose-colored glasses. It's got all of that going for it, and that can be a good thing. On the other hand, I go down through it man for man, and I don't see people that want to play better than we played this past Sunday. I don't see people that can't play. Tyron Smith can play. Tyron Smith is several games now removed from coming back. You can have a great game out of Tyron Smith. And the same thing with Dak Prescott. And I'll take Dak Prescott even with all the strongs and the weaks. I'll take him even going into the game, of coming out of there with a game that can win and coming out of a great game. I'll take him against anybody you want to line up there. I really will.
Jerry,
you're with Mike McCarthy. I'll take him for this game.
Jerry, your old coach Jason Garrett brought up this weekend that y'all are 1-4 this year on grass. You go back a few more years, you guys have struggled on grass. Is that coincidental, or is there something more to that?
Well, I didn't hear that, and Jason's very smart. Yes, and my point is that they have to play on grass too. I'm talking about their team, and I'm not being naive, but we know somebody can win some games on grass because they do. And so, does that mean that we should lengthen our cleats? Possibly. And I'm not trying to be cute.
Yeah.
But I don't candidly see any difference in picking them up and laying them down. I'm talking about running, or I'm talking about slinging it. I don't see any difference in that in grass or not. A lot of people like to think you got a little more give on grass, but I don't see what that's got to do before you're trying to give. Now you say, well, grass you got to adjust for pushing off. Maybe you do. I'm just. I know that I've for years and years and years I've looked at this thing, and just. But it's a different perspective. But from the standpoint of injury, there's zero evidence that one is any safer than the other. Safer. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have to make some adjustments. We used to have about a 16 to 18-inch drop-off in the back corner of our end zones on each corner, on each end zone at Texas Stadium, the old Texas Stadium. In other words, if you were a quarterback standing out in the middle of the field dropped off 18 inches. And we played to that. And we used that knowing it was there as opposed to a visiting team being there. So that, is there something to how your leverage on grass when you're playing? I don't know that. I haven't heard that. But Jason's maybe got some stuff I don't.
Jerry, the reports out yesterday, the Broncos have requested to interview Dan Quinn. Do you have any worry or any anxiousness about the possibility of losing him this offseason?
Well, obviously we think the world of Dan Quinn, and we all understand the contributions that he's made. They interviewed him last year, and so it doesn't surprise me that they're interviewing him.
Jerry, last one. He's our weekly Friday buddy, so he may get mad at us, but it's going to be a topic. You're more aware of anyone than the topic, so we got to ask you, could anything happen in this playoff game Monday that could put Mike McCarthy's job status in question for next year?
No. Just I don't even want to. No. That's it. I don't need to go into all the pluses or minuses, but we're not seeing any. We're not basing. I've got a lot more to evaluate Mike McCarthy on than this playoff game.
Period. There you go. Don't tell him we asked. It's a great answer, and good luck in Tampa. We need it. Let's go out there and get a W and advance to the second round. Thank you as always, Jerry.
Thanks, guys. Boy, isn't it great to be going to the playoffs.
Yes, it is.
Indeed.